Hi everyone, welcome to the video tutorial of my income and expense tracker spreadsheet. As a general rule, please do not edit colored cells and only fill out white cells like these ones and these ones. I've put warning in place to prevent you from accidentally editing some cells that contain formulas. So for example, if I accidentally input a number here, this warning message will pop out because you're not meant to edit it. So please select cancel unless you do want to edit some of the formula because you want to modify it to suit your needs. You can always check this box and click OK. But if you don't want to edit the formula, please select cancel. Please start with the setup and bonus sheet. The first thing to do is to write your income categories in this column here and to write your expense categories in this column here. All of these categories are fully editable, so feel free to delete this, edit or rename to suit your needs. So you can simply edit all of these categories here. The same with the expenses here. You can delete and then write any categories. You can also rename these two categories here. I've allowed subscriptions and utilities, but I put this in colored cells because if you prefer to have all of your subscriptions under one category, for example, you have Netflix, Disney Plus, iCloud, any subscriptions, if you want to know the total of your subscriptions, I suggest to leave the category here. And then if you want to break them down later on, you can go under this tab here called subcategory. I've allowed two main categories here called utilities and subscriptions, where you can write your subcategories so you can see the further data breakdown of these subcategory expenses. But if you don't want to use this sheet, which I will explain a bit later how to use it, you don't have to use it, so you can right click and then just hide sheet if you're not using. So if you need more than 25 categories, all you need to do is click this plus button here. I have allowed up to 80 categories for each income and expenses. So feel free to use those extra rows if you need extra categories. Please do not delete or add any rows. What I mean by deleting rows is to do this, highlight the row and then delete row. Please do not do that because that will create error message in all the other dashboards. And the same thing with adding rows. Please do not add extra rows. There should be enough rows here, but feel free to reach out to me if you want extra rows. If you don't want to use this anymore, you can always click this minus button and it will hide all of those extra rows. I will explain how to use these bonus saving calculators later on. Let's move on to the income sheet. So this is where you log all of your income transactions. So the way this template works is pretty straightforward. All you need to do is to log your income transactions in this income sheet and log all of your expenses in this expenses sheet. Then the monthly dashboard, custom dashboard, and annual dashboards will automatically calculate and summarize everything for you. So before you log your transactions, please make sure to hide row 1, which is the instructions row, in all of the sheets. Otherwise, it will clutter your sheet. I highly recommend to hide it and select hide row. You can always bring it back by clicking this arrow button here. But yeah, make sure you hide it in all of the sheets, including expenses, monthly dashboard, and all of the other sheets. So now to log your income is pretty easy. Please enter the date of the transactions. Select the category from the drop down here. Remember, the categories that are in this drop down here are the ones you wrote in the setup sheet. So remember, if you want to edit it, you need to go back to the setup sheet to edit these income categories. Then enter the amount of the transaction. Please note that the ID column, the account column and notes are optional. If you don't want to use it, you can hide it by right-click on the column and then select Hide Column. So I'm going to show you how to enter the date. You can simply double-click on the cell and then select the date. Or if you prefer to write it, you can write it in two date formats. So if you prefer to write it with the month first and then date, please type the month / the date and then enter. But if you prefer to type the date first and then the month, please write the date and without space, write the first 3 letters of the month and then select enter. So if it's 14th of April, I would write like this. I designed this template so you can write the date format in both month first and date first. But the easiest way for me is to double click on the cell. Now, if you're using phone or tablet, when you double click on the cell, the interface is slightly different. So double clicking on the cell On your phone or tablet, this little calendar might not pop out, but don't worry because you can always write the dates the way I've explained earlier. So if you're using phone or tablet, make sure to write the dates instead of double clicking. So that's how to enter the date. And to enter the category, just select the category and simply type the amount of that particular salary transaction here. Now, account. Now, for those who want to track their bank account balance, you can use this account column. So if you click on this drop down here, to edit this drop down, please go to the account balance. So feel free to delete this and then rename it to suit your bank account name. Once you've done that, then under income and expenses shade, under the account column, you can find your bank account names that you wrote there. So if you're tracking your bank account balance, please allocate an account to each of your transactions. So once you've done that, the account balance sheet will automatically calculate your incoming total and outgoing total, then your end balance, so you can easily reconcile and fix any discrepancy between this spreadsheet and your actual bank account balances. Please make sure to enter the start date and the end date. So this sheet will only calculate everything between the dates that you input in these two cells here. So if you didn't input the correct dates, then you might not see the accurate end balance. So make sure to input the start date and the end date. When inputting the start balance of your credit card, if you have a balance in your credit card, make sure to input minus in the amount of the start balance. Cool, so that's how you track your bank account balances. Now, after inputting your income transactions, please make sure to do the same with your expense transactions. The same principle, please enter the date, category, and amount. Those three are mandatory. The same way how you input the income transactions. The ID column, subcategory column, and account column are all optional. The subcategory column, as I explained earlier, is only for your utility expenses and your subscriptions. If you want to see the breakdown summary of those expenses. Again, if you don't want to use the subcategory column and you're happy just to not have the breakdown between subscriptions, you can just hide this column. But if you do want to see the breakdown, please allocate the subcategory to each of your subscriptions and utilities. You can edit this drop down by going to subcategory sheet and input your subscription names and your utility bills in this column C here. So yeah, feel free to delete this if you want and then write all of your subscriptions that you currently have here. Once you've done that, if you go to the expenses sheet, when logging your utility and subscription bills, make sure to allocate the subcategory to each of those transactions. They will then be automatically calculated in this sheet. All you need to do is to input the date here. So you can see the amount is automatically populated here of each of your subscriptions between the period of these dates. And the same with your utility bills. You can see within the certain time period how much you spend on your electricity bills, water bills, gas bills. If you want to see it on a quarter period, half year, or even the whole year, just simply play with these dates and then you can see the breakdown of all of your subscription and utility bills. Highest to lowest subscriptions also automatically sort here. And then your utilities breakdown chart is displayed here. So once you finish logging all of your income and expense transactions, the job is done. So everything will be automatically calculated in this monthly dashboard, custom dashboard, and annual dashboard. For the monthly dashboard, all you need to do is to select the month in this cell here by double-clicking the cell and select the first of the month. So if you want to go back to April, for example, please select the 1st of April and all the tables and charts will automatically update. And remember, if you're not using desktop, if you're using your phone or tablet, make sure to write the date instead. So if you want to go to May, write 5/1 and then enter. That's how you can go from month to month if you're using phone or tablet. The layout is very intuitive. You can see the summary of all of your income in this column here, summary of all of your expenses in this column here. You can see all of your totals in easy view, income versus expenses in this chart here. The income summary will also show you your income breakdown. Highest to lowest income automatically sort for you here. The chart is displaying from the biggest to the lowest salary in a clockwise direction. And the same with the expenses summary. You can see the expenses breakdown in this chart here. What's your biggest expense? What's your second biggest expense? And so on. Your highest to lowest expenses displayed in this table here. Amount and percentage. Remember, if you are using more than 25 rows, you can always unhide the extra rows here by clicking the plus button here, and it will unhide all of the extra rows. So this table here is your savings summary. You can enter here your savings goal. So for example, if I want it to be $1,200, I just enter the amount. Your actual savings will be displayed in this cell here, which is income minus expenses. In other words, this is the amount of money you have left after subtracting all of your expenses from your total income. You can also see your savings rate of the month automatically calculated for you here. So this represents the portion of your income that you're able to save after covering all of your expenses here. Underneath that is your saving progress. So once you've entered your saving goal here, the saving progress chart will automatically update. In this instance, I have saved $764 so far this month. If my saving goal is $1,200, that means that I have made 64% progress towards hitting that income goal. And this number over here, called amount to goal, means that I have $430 left to hit that $1,200 goal. So that's it. That's your monthly dashboard explained. Now, custom dashboard has very similar layout with the monthly dashboard. It calculates everything between the start date and end date that you input in these two cells here. So that means you can view your financial summary within any period, whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, quarterly, or half-year basis. So in this example here, it's showing the summary between 1st of January until the 30th of June, which means this is a 6-month summary of my income, expenses, and savings. If you want to make it quarterly dashboard, you can just change the date here. So instead of it until the 30th of June, you can make it until the 31st of March. So the period of 1st of January till the 31st of March. You can then rename this to say quarterly dashboard. And then you can also rename this tab here by right click on the tab and then select rename and then type quarterly like that. Please make sure to adjust the savings goal to reflect your quarterly saving goal. Now you can duplicate this sheet and then make it any time period like weekly, bi-weekly, half yearly, and so on. But I've already created a bi-weekly and weekly dashboard for you, so you don't have to do the work. So if you click on these 3 lines here next to the instruction tab, click on it, and then I will unhide both so I can explain them to you. So I'll unhide the weekly first and then I will unhide bi-weekly as well. So now you have weekly and bi-weekly dashboard. So I have also input a formula here. So when you want to go to the next bi-weekly period, you don't have to select the end date. All you need to do is to double click on the start date and select the next bi-weekly period. So if the first bi-weekly period starts on the 1st of March, the next will be on the 15th of March. As you can see, the end date automatically update per bi-weekly period. And everything, the tables and the charts will automatically update as per these 2 dates here. And the same with the weekly dashboard, I have updated this. I have input a formula here. So when you move on from week to week, all you need to do is to select the start date of the week and then the end date will automatically update. Don't forget to update the saving goal if you're doing it that way, because this will be your saving goal for the week and this will be your saving goal for the bi-weekly period. Let's move on to the annual dashboard. So again, you have this intuitive layout where you can see your saving summary in this table here, income summary, and expenses summary. All of your totals in easy view. You can see your income breakdown in this chart here and your expenses breakdown in this chart here. The only things you need to enter in the sheet are these 2 cells here, starting month. So you don't have to start in January. You can start at any month. So I'll show you. If you scroll down, this is the 12 months detailed breakdown of all of your savings, income, and expenses. So because I select January here, all of this column here start in January. But if I choose February, then you can see that the 12 months period start in February until January next year. So annual saving goal, you can enter your annual savings goal here. simply type the number. So for example, if I want it to be 14,000, so the graph next to it will update. It will show you the goal that you just entered here on this diagram here. And also it will show you progress to your savings goal this year. So because so far this year I've saved $8,215 and my goal is $14,000. My progress to achieve that $14,000 is 59%. And the same information as you find in the other dashboard, you can see the savings rate automatically calculated for you, your total annual income and expenses displayed in this chart here. This is your monthly savings of the year. So you can see how much money you save each month throughout the year. In other words, you can also see this as your cash flow chart, your monthly income of the year displayed in this annual chart, and your monthly expenses of the year displayed here. And if you want to see the combination of these three charts, then you can view it in this chart here. If you want to see your highest to lowest income, highest to lowest expenses, all you need to do is press this plus button and you can see all of your income and expenses sorted from highest to lowest. Remember, you can always click this minus button to make it compact again. So that's it. Because you can select any starting month by choosing it in the cell here, this means that you can use it year after year. So keep logging your data in the income and expenses sheet. If you want to use it for the year after, and you still have enough rows because there are 10,000 rows in this income and expenses sheet, then for the year after, all you need to do is select February 2025 and everything will automatically update based on the starting month that you select here. So you can use it year after year. That's it. So that's all the dashboards explained. Now the bonus savings calculators. So I've created these two tables here to help you calculate how much you need to save per month in order to hit certain saving goals. Or if you have a fixed monthly contribution that you have in mind, this calculator here will show you how long it takes to hit certain savings goals and when you will hit it. So if you want to know your monthly contribution, please enter your goal amount here, enter your start date and goal date here. You can see instantly how much your monthly contribution in this column here. And the same with the calculator option 2. Simply enter your goal amount here, your start date, and then enter your monthly contribution. And you can see instantly when you will hit your goals based on the data that you input here. That's it. So if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you so much for watching.